So is beating a non-Marathi speaking food stall owner the road to power in Maharashtra? Is that Marathi Asmita all about? Now traders versus MNS, Shiv Sena, UVT supporters, where are the Congress and the NCP in all of this? And when Uddhav Thackeray and Raj Thackeray joined forces, is it actually for Marathi Asmita or is it a desperate move for survival? All about municipal elections. Joining me on this India First special, Shaina NC represents the Shiv Sena. Anish Gawande is the spokesperson of NCP Sharad Pawar. Sushma Andare joins me as deputy leader and spokesperson of the Shiv Sena UVT. Sahil Joshi is managing editor and a person on ground on the story. But my first question is to Rajdeep Sardesai, our consultant editor. And few people understand Maharashtra and Gujarat and Goa and politics of our country better than Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, welcome. Your take on this. Is this a do or die both for Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray, as Uddhav Thackeray put it, victory or death? And that is why we see this action on ground?
I think, Gaurav, you've got to see this at multiple levels. Certainly, you've got to see it at one level as the political coming together of the Thackeray brothers for ensuring their continuing political relevance ahead of the BMC elections. To unite in a way the Marathi Manus of Mumbai in particular, using language as a weapon, thereby hoping to consolidate that Marathi vote and achieve a measure of success in the BMC election. So the politics is very clear. This is primarily in that sense about a political consolidation, an attempted political consolidation of the Marathi vote. But let's also be clear that there are cultural dimensions to what is happening that cannot be ignored. For the longest time, and this goes back to Mahasaheb Thackeray, who started the Sons of the Soil movement, a belief that Maharashtrians in a way are getting pushed to the margins, are not getting their due. Earlier it was about jobs, now it's about language. And therefore that is being used in a way to try and create a sense of cultural pride or cultural assertiveness using language as a weapon again. So there is the political angle, Gaurav, but let's also not forget the cultural angle, just as we've seen in other states. Yes. We've seen it in Tamil Nadu, we've seen it in Karnataka. I think the manner in which Hindi was being seen to be imposed on students from class 1 to 5 gave an opportunity for the two Senas to come together and say Marathi is being marginalized at the cost of Hindi.
Imagine this is happening where Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak in the freedom struggle spoke of Devanagari script, Marathi and Hindi uniting the entire country way back in 1905, and what's happening in 2025. But Rajdeep, was the BJP actually trying to force this one nation, one language through the now revoked order of Hindi being the optional third language?
Look, it is an order which has been brought, which was attempted to be brought across the country under the new education policy. It's not just limited to Maharashtra, but the manner in which it is sought to be implemented has led to some kind of a pushback because it's a perceptual issue. If you see the speeches that the Thackerays are making, they are claiming we are with Hindutva, but that doesn't mean that we are with Hindi. So somewhere there is this fear that through this Hindi, Hindu, Hindutva, you are bringing in an element of uniformity using language to try and across the country make Hindi the national link language. Now, the government may be well-intentioned, but the truth of the matter is it also then in certain states gives an opportunity to linguistic chauvinists to say, what about the regional language? We want regional language first, Hindi should be optional. So I think the manner in which it has played out on the ground has given an opportunity to the Senas. I do not for a moment agree with the violence and the thuggish behavior, Gaurav. Let's be very clear, unacceptable. You cannot thrash someone simply because he or she doesn't speak Marathi. That's unacceptable. That's a violation of the law. But you also have to recognize that there will be an element of cultural assertiveness, of regional assertiveness, if you are seen to be pushing a language without consultation, without consensus.
But imagine more than 100 years ago, Lokmanya Tilak was trying to push one nation, nationalism,
one minute.
nationalism. Hindi to unite this entire nation against the British, and now we don't want that national unity, in this... Yes, please.
Can I briefly disagree with you?
Please.
Lokmanya Tilak brought out Kesari. What was the language?
Marathi in Devanagari.
No, 1 minute. But Lokmanya Tilak's newspaper was in Marathi. Lokmanya Tilak's speeches were in Marathi primarily. Lokmanya Tilak brought about the idea of a Sarvajanik Ganeshotsav to unite people. He may have tried to unite people on the basis of, you could argue, their religious identity using religious festivals like Sarvajanik Ganeshotsav, but he was very conscious of the Maharashtrian culture and Maharashtrian identity. That's the point. My point is both should ideally coexist.
Yes.
You should be, no, but you see, if the government of the day is accused by the Senas today of not doing enough for Marathi, of not doing enough to promote Marathi, then I think it is the duty of the government to ensure that Marathi also gets its due place.
But are they promoting Marathi, or are they promoting themselves or seeking to promote themselves, just riding piggyback on Marathi Asmita and just till municipal elections? Because many analysts have argued, and you would understand this better and can explain this better, is it all for the control of that 75,000 crore rupee budget of the BMC?
Look, Gaurav, if you remember, right at the very outset, I said this is primarily about a political power game. Uddhav Thackeray, after the defeat in the November assembly elections, is desperately keen to regain some element of clout. The BMC is critical. The Shiv Sena has controlled BMC for 30 years. You've got Raj Thackeray, who's keen to maintain, re-establish his political relevance when he's been pushed to the margin. Just got 1.5% of the vote in the assembly elections. And you've got Eknath Shinde. Don't forget that. Eknath Shinde is the one who has emerged in a way as claiming, I am the true inheritor of the Shiv Sena and Balasaheb Thakray's legacy. So the Thackeray brand also has in some way got damaged, diluted by recent election defeats, particularly in the assembly election. How do I restore the brand? Try and go back to what it claims to have originally stood for, sons of the soil. So the politics is there, Gaurav. I am saying both are there. You have to explore the political angle, but you cannot ignore the dimension of cultural identity and assertiveness, not just in Maharashtra, but in different parts of the country.
Absolutely. And where are the Congress and the NCP, Sharad Pawar, in this? What are their considerations, Rajdeep?
That's a very interesting question. The Congress is clearly, caught between a rock and a hard place. How does the Congress, which wants to re-establish itself in North India, align itself to a political agenda and a cultural agenda that is in any way seen at the moment to be anti-Hindi? So if the Congress were to share a platform, let's say with the MNS, or indeed if the Sena UBT was to take the same strident stand as the MNS is taking, can the Congress really be seen on the same platform, especially when Bihar is going to the polls in 4-5 months from now? Unlikely. So the Congress is caught in a bind. On the other hand, they want to preserve their MV alliance. So they are playing it very cautiously. The NCP, on the other hand, somewhere hopes that if regional pride or regional asmita spreads or becomes a more attractive option, then they also will indirectly benefit because they are primarily a party of Maharashtra. But I doubt that in today's Maharashtra, this agenda can succeed across the state. But there are pockets of Mumbai, as we are seeing, where the Marathi Manus is in large numbers. In any case, let me tell you and the viewers, Marathi-speaking people have never been a majority in Mumbai for over a century and beyond, about 40-42%. So how do I consolidate that 40-42%? NCP doesn't have much of a stake in Mumbai. So they are happy to watch this play out and hope that the Devendra Fadnavis government is embarrassed by it. All of this is therefore at one level about pure politics, but at another level, language, and we've not for the first time, is also used as a weapon for cultural assertiveness.
It indeed is. And Rajdeep, we'll track the story closely. I now want to throw this open for a wider discussion. Rajdeep, many, many thanks for joining me here on India First. China NC, let me now bring you in. BJP and Shiv Sena's Eknath Shinde faction. Now, are you trying to force Hindi down Maharashtra's throat? Because this is a battle for Marathi Asmita versus what is being seen as this rising power of Gujaratis, North Indians and outsiders in Mumbai and Thane.
Gaurav, at the outset, let me please say that our party and our leader, Eknath Shinde, has made it amply clear that we stand for Marathi. There is no compromise when it comes to Marathi. But isn't it ironical that you asked me this question when the National Education Policy 2020, which was recommended by Dr. Marshalkar, this committee came and suggested that Marathi, English, Hindi be taught from class 1 to class 12. And it was then on January 27th, 2022, that Uddhav Thackeray, the then chief minister, during his cabinet meeting, adopted the policy. Now, if you cut to size and you come to the recent scenario, I mean, obviously the timing is suspect, the motive is suspect, because you have two factions of the Ubata Sena and the Manse, which have no political relevance left, and they are thinking of coming together and using Marathi. Now, I use the word using Marathi in, just before the upcoming civic polls, which is not the actual intent. As far as we are concerned, we are very, very clear. Whether it is Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis, they have made it amply clear on multiple occasions that law and order will be maintained in the state of Maharashtra. We respect Marathi language clearly. We respect the people, the culture. It's a non-negotiable. But at the same time, if you believe that you can encourage people, we do want people to speak Marathi. Why shouldn't people?
Let me bring in Sushma ji for more on this. Stay with me. I also want to bring in Sahil on whether what's the traction on ground. But Sushma ji, is beating up non-Marathi speakers the only way to win elections and not on the basis of work that may have been done since Shiv Sena was in power in BMC?
Government has a very lying spokesperson कि बार बार झूठ बोलो और झूठ बोलते जाओ. यही शिंदे गुट और सारे फडणवीस के सारे प्रवक्तागण ये बार बार झूठ बोलते जाते हैं. लेकिन हम बार बार कहे जा रहे हैं कि म सिर्फ महापालिका का नहीं, म मराठी का है, म महाराष्ट्र का है, म मुंबई का है और म मातोश्री मीनाताई ठाकरे के संस्कारों का है. हम बार बार बोले जा रहे हैं कि शिवसेना UBT has always been a staunch advocate for the pride, identity and right of the Marathi people. The Marathi language is not just a medium of communication, but the soul of Maharashtra's cultural heritage and identity. Recent discussions around language policies in our state have raised concerns, and we want to make our position crystal and clear. Our core party stand is respect for Marathi, no opposition to other language. Shiv Sena UBT firmly believes that the Marathi language must be respected.
Manse? You've seen what Maharashtra Navnirman Sena is doing. You're looking at people being slapped around.
Yes. I'm coming there. Shiv Sena firmly believes that the Marathi language must be respected, promoted, and protected as the cornerstone of Maharashtra identity. We are not against any other language, including Hindi or the diversity of India's linguistic heritage. However, we strongly oppose any attempts to undermine our marginalized Marathi in our own state. Every language has its place, but in Maharashtra, Marathi must hold its rightful prominence. लेकिन आप जब कहते हो कि
जी
yes, I'm answering. See, Shiv Sena has always been, जैसे कि हमने कहा कि हम बार बार कहे जा रहे हैं कि हम इस बारे में कभी भी किसी भी तरह के we do not support violence. The current aggressive atmosphere in Maharashtra, particularly in Mumbai, over the Marathi language issue is preliminary due to the actions of Chief Minister and Home Minister Devendra Fadnavis. In a recent press conference,
I'll come back to you.
I'm giving only 3 examples. Please, let me clear. I'm giving only.
The moment I bring in Anish, I'll just bring in Anish and Sahil for a moment for their opening comments, because I want this to be a free-flowing conversation where everyone gets to say what they want to and let our viewers decide. Because Anish, where is the NCP Sharad Pawar on this, real issues of development, roads, infrastructure? Have they all taken a backseat in this very emotive issue of Marathi Asmita?
Not at all, Gaurav. Firstly, thank you very much for having me on your show, and good to see so many familiar faces today. Let me start off by saying that Marathi in Mumbai has always been an incredibly emotive issue. Multiple governments have recognized this, and multiple governments have come up with various solutions to it. You cannot deny that there is public anger, right? because people are being called Vernac, people are being called Ghati, they're being disrespected. The government's job is to ensure that these anxieties within people are controlled, are addressed. But what is our government doing today? The government is behaving like the opposition. You say there's a law and order problem, the state government is in their hands, the central government is in their hands, the BMC is currently being administered by them. How is there a law and order problem in Maharashtra? If there is a law and order problem in Maharashtra, you should address it. You should address the people beating up people for not speaking Marathi, but you should then also take action in the Badlapur case, where we've not seen any action against BJP trustees of a school where 2 children were sexually assaulted. You should also take action in the Pune Porsche case, where somebody is out on bail. You should also take action in the Vaishnavi Hagavane dowry death case. So law and order has collapsed in Maharashtra. We've been saying this for a while. Now when it comes to the issue of language, this government has offered no concrete solutions. 700 public libraries have shut down in the last 5 years. Marathi theatres are shutting down. Yesterday, Pawar Sahib opened a new Marathi theatre in Alibag. The opposition has to do the job of the government today. This is the condition. And the biggest problem we have is with education. Today, Supriya Dai was in Azad Maidan. More than 5,000 teachers have been protesting in Azad Maidan. Nobody has covered it. Have you covered it today? I'd like to ask you in your headlines, right?
Yeah. Sahil,
Only when somebody
Sahil and his
slaps for
team
not
in
speaking
Mumbai have
Marathi,
covered it in a
which
big
TV
way.
channels cover it. No, but I'm not saying this directly to you, but I'm saying this as a general trend, right? That when these issues get raised with the government fails to acknowledge them. They have 82,000 crores to build the Shaktipeeth Mahamarga, which has more potholes than a road in Mumbai, which is an achievement by itself. But the 5,000 schools in Maharashtra they promise aid to have not been given a penny.
Okay.
This government has failed to give any concrete solutions. I want to ask Shaina, who's a dear friend, please tell me, what is the government doing?
Okay, I'll get Shaina to respond to this because you've raised a direct point. But Sahil, is there traction on ground on this Marathi Asmita pitch? Shiv Sena Shinde leader, you spoke to Pratap Sarnaik, a minister in the Eknath Shinde government, is joining these protests. What's his reasoning?
Well, Pratap Sarnaik had a very clear reason, and he thought that the agitation which was called out by the Marathi Ekikaran Samiti, not MNS, to be factual, and MNS and Shiv Sena UBT were part of it. He decided to be part of that as well. He thought that they had a right to protest, and he should be part of it. And after that, he also mentioned to me when I spoke to him that the police action was completely unfounded and unnecessary. And according to him, even the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is also on the same page what he was trying to say at that particular time. Also, he was completely critical about Nishikant Dubey, the BJP MP Nishikant Dubey's statement, and not only him, but also the local leadership of the BJP was critical about Nishikant Dubey's statement because they clearly understand the issue can turn into a completely emotive issue altogether. And also what Rajdeep was saying before, he was trying to put the politics aside from the culture, the Marathi culture and the pride. It has always, what we have seen is that the Marathi pride has always been followed by the politics played around the Marathi issue. We saw that, the formation of Shiv Sena also, it's kind of an outcome of the Sanyukta Maharashtra movement, which started in 1955, and then eventually the Maharashtra state was carved out from the Bombay state, and Mumbai became the capital of Maharashtra. So it has its own history, and whenever such kind of issues come up, people revisit that history again and again. And everybody on this panel, including that of Shaina NC, must be knowing about what happened in 1960, 1955, and then eventually followed up by the formation of Shiv Sena by Balasaheb Thackeray. So now let's come to the issue at this point of time. It all started with a government resolution which we call an order by the state government of Maharashtra and the education department, which of course belongs to Shiv Sena at this point of time. The minister came out with an order saying that making Hindi compulsory from standard 1 to standard 4. And let me also tell our viewers that in Maharashtra, since many years, the Hindi has been taught as a third language since, from standard 5. Even I have
done my schooling in Marathi medium, and I've learned Hindi from standard 5 in state board schools
But
in
you know, the
Maharashtra.
point that you raised,
So,
Sahil, on Patak
that is
Patak
very clear.
Marenge, Nishikant Dube's line, Shaina NC, wouldn't this put the BJP, Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena clearly on the back foot, because this is where this could become a very emotive issue, and plus your own party leader joining and minister joining the protests?
So I want to say 2-3 things, and I want to respond to the NCP spokesperson as well. You asked that what we have done. Let me please tell you that Eknath Shinde, when he was the chief minister, resolved and brought back displaced Marathi people to live in Mumbai. Whether it's fast-tracking many delayed redevelopment projects across the state, or the Abhijat Darja, the fact that Marathi has always been a priority, its people, its culture, etc., the list is endless. So Marathi being the soul is something which is established, and as Sahil said, it's part of our lifeblood. And it comes so naturally to the Shiv Sena that we don't need to orchestrate or plan timing or plan, moments to resurrect ourselves, because we have championed this cause all along. You asked about Pratap Sarnaik ji. Now, as a representative of public, if he goes for a cause which we all believe in, without taking law into our hand, and it's not just the Marathi community that we respect. Here it is suggesting that yes, other languages and cultures too can be respected, but as representatives of the state and of Mumbai and of Thane, Mira Road, etc., our representation there too in a movement is something which comes from the correct source. But the question you should be asking, Gaurav, here today is, what is the opposition doing? The opposition is only trying to constantly say that, oh, this is our cause. This is not a cause. This is a movement. This is the philosophy and the ideology of Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray. And when Eknath Shinde ji and the Shiv Sena says that we have opposed the compulsory Hindi policy, highlighting that Marathi pride is an identity and it's a non-negotiable, please also understand that Shindeji's stand has contributed to the government the decision to withdraw the GR, whether it's Dada
Fair
Bhuse,
enough.
whether it's Devendra Fadnavis, whether it's Eknath Shinde. This
No, but
reflects
my
not just our
wider
emotion,
question
but
is,
our commitment.
what
So when
my wider
you-
question is, what is wrong in learning Hindi? Anish,
Absolutely nothing, but it is optionality, which is
it is
what we
optional.
want.
It is
And when
optional.
Avinash
It's a
Jadhav-
third language. What is wrong if Lokmanya Balgangadhar Tilak, thought it's a language that can unite the entire nation? Why this strong opposition in different parts of the country, unless it's only vote bank politics, Anish?
It's political opportunism.
Gaurav, you gave me Lokmanya Tilak. Let me quote Savarkar to you, which is very unlikely for an NCP SP spokesperson, and say that Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Veer Savarkar, believed in Bhasha Shuddhi and said that Marathi was superior to Hindi because it was truer to its Sanskrit roots. And so we want to preserve that unique identity of Marathi. Nobody has any problem with Hindi. But when you start converting SSC schools into CBSE schools, when you embark upon a project to centralize education in Maharashtra, where decisions made in Delhi are thrust down the throats of lakhs of students across the state,
Please go back
where the
in time,
degrees that they
Anu.
will soon get from schools
Anu,
controlled by
go
the
back
central
in time
government
and see
do
what
not
the
have the
20%
value that the paper that they're printed on.
Okay.
Anish,
No,
go
but
back
this is
in
part
time.
of a wider project, right? I think the GR is certainly something, and I
If at
agree
all
with
the
Shaina
narrative
here.
is
And I
Jadhav
want to say
coming
that, in
now
fact, on
is
this one
request
issue,
all
you're
stakeholders
seeing
to
all
come
regional
forward
parties being
and put
united.
forward their
Yes,
viewpoints.
yes. And that is why, Sahil, the last 30 seconds I have on this part of the show. Sahil, till the BMC elections, is this likely to hot up even further? Identity politics be the passport to power for the Thackeray's?
Well, actually, it looks like that the government miscalculated. They never thought that two Thackeray brothers will be coming together, because it's the same Raj Thackeray with whom Eknath Shinde was having a dinner and was planning to have an alliance with Raj Thackeray so that he can have a better bargaining chip with the BJP for the upcoming BMC elections. Now that the two Thackeray brothers have come together, it is still Uddhav Thackeray has already opened his cards. He's asking Raj Thackeray to have an alliance, whereas Raj Thackeray has kept his cards close to his chest. And now both of them have literally forced the Shiv Sena to come out and say very clearly that they do not want the third language to be taught from standard 1, and they have opposed this government resolution, whereas it's only BJP who is saying at this point of time in Maharashtra that there is nothing wrong to teach Hindi from standard 1. But now it looks like
Okay.
that the whole issue has gone beyond it. Now it has gone to the Marathi pride, the Marathi asmita, and it will turn out, it has rolled down into an alliance of two Thackeray brothers. So in coming months, we'll get to know whether actually these two brothers come together, sit together, not only on a particular issue, but also to forge an alliance to fight election against Eknath Shinde and the BJP.
And Sahil and his team would be tracking that story very, very closely. Anish, I'm sorry,
Gaurav, I
I'm
want
not
to
out of
ask
time.
one thing. Gaurav,
I'm just-
one last second.
Okay, last 20
I was
seconds.
just
I can
gonna say,
never say
where's
no.
the BJP
Go on, sir.
spokesperson today? Where's
Okay.
the BJP spokesperson today? That should tell you everything. Where's the BJP spokesperson today?
Fair enough. Shaina, Anish and Sahil for joining me here on this India First special broadcast. Many thanks in the run-up to BMC elections. Lots more on Marathi Asmita, I'm sure.